In progress.
Hi, welcome to the movie discussion group. And so it's a brand new group, so I don't even remember the full name of it, but I will show you here. And so I just want to welcome you, parents. This is a pre-recorded meeting, and I didn't really push this one, but I wanted it to be recorded for you. If you missed it, I know it's summertime, and so this is called High School Disney Movie Club Lit Terms for Mastering Reading and Writing. And so with these 47 literary terms for ninth and 10th graders, and even 11th and 12th graders, although in 11th and 12th grade, you have new terms. Those terms can help your student read and write anything, right? If they understand the vocabulary here, they're going to be better throughout the year. So why not combine family bonding with preparation for the fall? And so that was the idea behind this. But I've had this movie group for several years. And so we just discussed different movies. I started the group up again. We just did The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. It was a lot of fun. And that was last week. Normally I do, well, it looks like I'm going to be doing two movies per month. It'll be Lion King and other Disney movies. And then it'll be the other group. So you'll want to join this group. And so it's called Movie a Month Discussion and More Group. I'm going to put my contact information here. You will see it, and you can email me at. Okay, there it is right there. I can also drop that in the chat as well, and you should see it. Of course, I would have to press the chat button. That would help. And if you're watching this pre-recorded, you're not going to be able to cut and paste that. You're just going to have to spell it out. Okay, so there it is right there. It will not expand, but Kevin Hamilton Shaw with an H dash tutoring at yahoo.com. And I will give you the link to this group that you can join, and you have to join basically to be able to watch the movies with us. Okay, so let's jump right into this. And what you're going to see here is the other thing, which is the resource that we are using for this group. Now, that's going to be found here in my high school writing tutoring for students group. Okay, so the link to that is here. Again, you can just email me and ask me for the information, and I can send you the link. Basically, you just type in high school writing tutoring for students, and you will see this. You can join. But what I want to show you here is in the Files tab, you have the literary terms for high schoolers right there. It's a PDF, but I already have that up here, as you can see. Let's move this out of the way. So let's jump to the end here. So if this were a live event, which I hope you come to next month, we would be on Zoom and we'd be discussing the movie, and kind of in a very conversational manner. There's no real strict agenda other than how did you connect with the movie, and in terms of your own life, your child's life. How did you connect that movie to events in the world? How did you connect that movie to other movies or other stories? And through these connections, um, we can appreciate the movie and make it more memorable for ourselves. Now, the idea behind this entire movie group for students and their parents, as I said before, not just family bonding, but learning these terms. Now, there are going to be, I believe, 47 of these terms altogether. I'm not going to go through all the terms because we'd be here for an hour. I'm going to jump ahead to the lesson here, and it's kind of, it needs to be battle tested, of course. So, but let's jump right in. Step one, prepare the vocabulary map. There is a vocabulary map that you will find that I will be referring to. I just wanted to be sure it was there. I'll promise to stop navigating so quickly. You probably get dizzy there. So let's land right here. This is the actual activity that you want to do at home with your student. Okay. So if you miss the movie group and you want to do it on your own, just watch The Lion King. And when you're done with that, a week later or a few days later, or maybe the same day, you want to download this document and you want to sit down with your teen. Now, the idea here is not to learn all 47 terms in 1 week or 1 day or even 1 month, although you could certainly do that. My students in high school that I taught this to with the movie learned the terms all year long. Okay. And so in that way, we take 1 or 2 terms per week. Um, and we were done. I think I would recommend going through the terms maybe 3 to 4 terms a week. And that way you can go through this entire list at least twice in the school year. Okay. So prepare the vocabulary map, introduce the vocabulary map, begin by explaining the purpose. These are kind of like notes to myself, but you can do this. Um, Actually, this is written to parents. Begin by explaining the purpose of the vocabulary map to your child. The map includes spaces for, um, and we'll go through those spaces there. I'm not going to go through all of this in detail because I would put you to sleep. And I know that you can pause the video, you can fast forward it, you can slow it down as you need. Okay, so let's look at the map itself because that's the key here is for the student to fill out this map for each of the words. If the word is symbolism, they're going to write the word here. You want to print this out and duplicate it. Then you want to have them look at the definition, which I will give you here in this document. And then they proceed with their definition. So the definition in their own words. They're going to write a sentence. They're going to include a synonym and antonym. Synonym means a word that means the same. Antonym, a word that means the opposite. Of course, they're going to write the word in the middle here, the middle box. They can also write the part of speech, which they can find online in the online dictionary or a regular dictionary. And then an illustration. So it's really important that you emphasize with your student not to worry about being an artist. They can draw stick figures, right? The important thing here is what we draw, we remember. Okay, so they're going to go through one map per word. Okay, that's basically what this first step is about. Go over the provided list of terms such as theme, symbol, perspective, point of view, etc. Each term will have a predefined definition and an example from The Lion King. Okay, so I've supplied those examples, and there's an example. Step 2, front load the vocabulary terms. Quickly review terms before the movie. So if I were you, I would actually read through these terms, maybe take 5-10 minutes and just maybe go through and with your student, have your student read one of the terms, you read the other, take turns. Maybe you have 2 high schoolers there with you. Maybe you gather some kids from the neighborhood, right? You have a little bit of, a miniature lesson at the kitchen table there, right? No big deal. And then that way the terms kind of sit in their mind. You could even go through the examples if you want. It's really up to you. Or you just show the movie first and then do this kind of step 2 here, okay? So you can read the details there. Step 3, prepare for the movie night. You don't need me to read you those details there. Create your own family fun with it. Have popcorn, be there in your fuzzy slippers, your pajamas, whatever it is. Have a slumber party and just make it fun, right? Step 4, watch The Lion King together. And all right, step 5, post movie discussion. So that is what you're looking at now. So on a Zoom session, several parents plus their teens and I would get together and we discuss the movie. Okay. Then you have the worksheet, finding literary terms in The Lion King. So then what we would do if we were live is we would go through the terms, an example term, as I kind of showed you with the vocabulary map, and then you do the rest, right? That would kind of be a short kind of a session right there. It could be as long as you want it to be because I have the scheduled for an hour, 6:30 to 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, although that time could change. It's typically held on a Friday, although that day could change as well. Okay. Long-term learning. So you want to read through these portions here. Reinforced learning. This process may take a week or even several weeks. Once your child learns these words, you can discuss them all year long as you see these terms play out in the stories and articles that read. And the benefit of having the movie there is that your student and yourself, you can always go back to the movie and refer to it. Students are very visual learners. And so if they can couple literary terms or reading material with visualization, they will remember much better. And if they can remember something, they can have the word picture, they can have the whole movie playing in their mind. And if you ask them questions about a story later on or the terms, they can access their visual memory. And it's incredible because I can remember, how they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. So one movie is worth 1,000,000 words, right? So, all right, ongoing discussions, integration with schoolwork, um, additional suggestions, do a weekly review, connect with other media, use other movies, come back month after month after month with me and the other parents and teenagers, the students, and you could basically watch a different movie every month, okay? Or just stick with the Lion King, right? And you have some creative activities. Have your child write their own stories or draw scenes that incorporate these vocabulary terms. Okay, so there are some of the benefits there. There's the vocabulary definition map, and that is basically it. Not much more there. So what I want to also encourage you to do is I have an online group tutoring. Wait, let me stop sharing because you're probably going crazy with all these pages. Here I am. So um, the way that it works is we have online group tutoring for advanced students that are wanting to go to Ivy League colleges, and they want to be sure that their writing is objectively good because of grade inflation. A's and B's in high school do not correlate to success in the real world of writing. Okay. I'm a teacher myself, a full-time teacher, and I know that grade inflation does exist. It now exists in colleges as well as the AP exam, the SAT, and possibly the ACT as well. So we're lowering our standards, which is horrible. But bosses um, in the workplace do not lower their standards, right? The customers that come through the doors of the business where your child will one day work will not lower the standards of communication. So if your child is a clear communicator, a clear writer and speaker and listener, they will have increased success. And studies show that people that have a clear grasp of the English language in those four domains, reading, writing, listening, speaking, will make more money. They'll get promoted more quickly. They have more open doors in life, right? So very important there. The other group of students that I help are the students that are aspiring, students that are not quite there yet with their grades and their test scores, and they want to be advanced. Okay. So the way that you get in touch and figure out whether or not this tutoring is for your child is you contact me. And my number is 661-699-9387. Text me and say that you want to chat. It's basically a 1-minute chat, 2 minutes max. And we just ask each other a couple questions back and forth to see if maybe this is a right fit, if your student is the right grade, if you're East Coast, West Coast, somewhere in the central time zone, just so that I have a better idea of whether or not they can fit into my group. And I think that they can most of the time, right? Okay. If you like what you hear from that session, and if I like what I hear, I will invite you to have a student success session, which lasts anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes on Zoom with your child and with both parents, or the main parent that makes decisions. And we'll talk about the goals, we'll talk about the frustrations, and I will give you actual tools. I'll give you a customized roadmap for your student to succeed with writing. No questions asked. No obligation, no strings attached in terms of buying this, getting involved in that program. Um, but perhaps the tutoring is going to be right for your student. And so we meet 2 days a week for 1 hour apiece, and I have a third hour in the week for the office hour and or homework help. And so that's it, basically. And so I'm very glad that you have chosen to be a part of this by listening and considering these lessons, that it will help your student to become a better writer, thinker, listener, speaker, and all that. So take care, and I will end this recording.